This is my personal recipe for authentic jerk chicken. We won $2,000 first place years ago, 3 years in a row for this jerk chicken. Years back I was running a barbecue team and I met with the guys, and for the chicken category we all agreed that the best chicken that we had ever eaten was jerk chicken from the islands. But it was very difficult to reproduce in the field. So we went with a jerk seasoning, Walkerswood, and I filmed a video called $2,000 first place chicken 3 years in a row. Yeah, 3 years in a row. And we used Walkerswood. And I'll put a link for that. It's a very easy way of making jerk chicken. But I've been asked over the years several times for my authentic jerk chicken recipe. That's what today's recipe is all about. And it's so simple to make, and you can't leave out any ingredients. You have to do it exactly the way that I'm showing you. The recipe for this is below in the comments section. So I've got my 1990s Ultimate Chopper here. And the first thing we're going to put in are some green onions, and I've roughly chopped them. We're going to pulse all this up into a paste. So I've got 3 of them in there. You can go 3 or 4. 3 or 4 cloves of peeled garlic, in they go, and about a 1-inch piece of ginger, fresh ginger. And that goes. We've got some thyme from the garden, fresh thyme leaves. And I've got some scotch bonnet peppers. Now, in Barbados, my friends there, they always come to a party with bonnie peppers in their pockets. If you can't get a hold of scotch bonnet, habaneros will do. But I've got 2 giant ones in here, so you want to go 2 or 3, and it's not going to be that hot. It adds a really nice spice to the jerk chicken. So I'll push those in. Try not to touch them with your fingers. Can't touch them with your fingers, but you can eat it. Next is, I've got some olive oil, some tamari sauce, some kosher salt, some cloves, clove powder. That stuff can be quite potent, so you want to be careful with it. I've got some allspice, and that's a real key ingredient for this too. Allspice. I've got some nutmeg. And some cinnamon. I'm just going to put the top on and just pulse that. That's a nice paste. So I'm going to take a large mixing bowl like this. And the chicken that I'm using today are going to be whole legs. And you can put slits in them if you like. I'll put that into the recipe below in the comments section. You can put slits in to get lots of flavor into it. In competition, we would just use the thigh part. So I'm going to take these and pour the mixture right on top. And just coat them totally, both sides. There, I like that. I take a Ziploc bag, pull down the edge, and put the legs in. Oh, it smells really good. And I'm going to put the rest of the sauce in there. So you can see how much is left. I want it all in there. This will probably do about 6. I'm going to say you could do 6 legs with that. I'll get the stuff on the lid. Good thing I cook outside. So with the bag, I kind of burp the air out, sealing it as I go, just to get rid of all of the air. and then just massage it like that. And I'm going to put this in this bowl into the fridge. I'm going to marinate it. We've got a rain event coming through here, so I'm going to marinate this overnight. We'll finish cooking this tomorrow. I'm going to cook it over charcoal. So there, burp the air out. I'll spin that around and flip it and massage it a couple of times throughout the day. The minimum marination time is going to be 4 to 6 hours, I would say. 12 is good, 24 is better. And it's just going to get right into the chicken and make it really super flavorful. I've marinated these jerk legs with my authentic jerk seasoning for 24 hours. Originally, when we cooked our $2,000 first place chicken with Walkerswood jerk seasoning, we did it on a kettle barbecue and kettle grill with a modified ring that fit in the center. Made it of an oil barrel, actually, and we put a rotisserie in and we spun it around. And this is the actual that we used when we spun our chicken. And I'm going to be cooking on, this is a Kamado Joe Classic. And over 20 years, I've amassed quite the collection of ceramic grills and barbecues, and I've been selling them off and replacing them with these Kamado Joes. It just ticks every box for me. These Kamado Joes are fantastic, and it's got a rotisserie ring, and you can see that right there. So originally, when we tried to modify a big green egg, we couldn't do it because you had to make a wedge to seal it all up nicely. So I've pre-started this, and for those of you that have ceramic grills, how I started this is I put some nice fresh clean lump in there, and I just use a torch. That's how I start my or you can use a chimney chute if you like. Now, if you don't have a fancy ceramic grill, you can do it on a regular barbecue, and I would do the raised rack method. And in my original recipe for my jerk chicken, I showed how I did it with the raised rack. So you kind of want to char grill it. So you want to get your color on first, right? So if you were going on a gas grill, you'd actually get the color into the skin, not too hot. On this one, I'm at about 325 degrees. And what you do is you get the color into it, and then we'll shut the vents down. And that's how I like to cook on the rotisserie. So this rotisserie is called a Joe-tisserie, and it works really well. I cook on it. It's kind of expensive, but I cook on it every week. And I've been doing ribs and brisket and pork butt and doing different things on the Joe-tisserie. So the other thing you can do is you can make up this marinade. It's a really good authentic marinade. You can make this up and marinate it like this, and then take it to a family member that has a rotisserie. If you don't have a basket, you can actually skewer them on the rod. I've done that too. Or you can do a whole chicken, but you have to be really good at grilling and smoking and barbecuing if you're going to do a whole chicken, because you don't want to burn it. You want to cook it properly. You don't want to dry the breast out. So what I'm going to do is thread this on like this. Oh yeah. And the old marinade will go in the garbage. So I'm going to clamp this on so that it doesn't move. And the added feature that I add in on my rotisserie is I put the prongs in to hold the basket, because I've had them fall out, actually in competition too. So it's just a safety thing that I put in so the basket will not fall out. And it go like that. The other thing is I tighten it up with a pair of pliers. There we go, I've tightened that up. Looks really good. And I'm at 325, 350. Direct heat. This goes in. You can see it going around here. Yep, make sure that it spins. Now, for the smoke, in competition, we were having a really hard time finding pimento. We were going to fly some in from the islands, actually. So what I've done is I've got some bay leaves, about a dozen of them, and a couple of tablespoons of allspice berries. And I'm just going to add them in there, roll it up, kind of like a joint. I'm just going to put directly on the hot part, and that's going to give some really nice smoke. Or you could use applewood if you like. And if you don't have a fancy grill or smoker or rotisserie, you can go in the oven if you like. And I'd go 350 degrees, get the color on it, and then kind of slow cook it. Get your color first though. That's the best way to do legs and thighs. So I'm going to let this go probably for about an hour, hour and a half. Once I start to get the color into that, then I'm going to close up all my vents on here. And just the heat will go down and it'll still continue to rotate and baste as it goes, just for perfect chicken. Okay, time for jerk chicken. Here we go. Yep, that looks really good. This chicken, oh yes, this chicken went for 45 minutes over direct heat till I got the char. And then I shut all the vents here on the top and the bottom. And it went for another half hour. In the last 10 minutes, I put a little bit of lime, and a little bit of salt on the top, just to spin around. That's your flavor separation. That's what we did in competition. Okay, let's take a look at this chicken. I know from cooking this many times that this chicken has all the flavors. It ticks all the boxes. It's got the authentic jerk seasoning. It's got the smoke from the allspice and the bay leaves. And 350 degrees. Spin it around till you get the color. Look at that color. And then shut all your vents. Yeah. And you know what? If it's not so much about timing. If you run into a problem with this type of chicken, just get your color and then turn your heat down. Just keep it warm. It'll just continue to get better with time. That's like fall apart right now. Wow, look at that. I can tell by sticking my fork in that that's perfect. That equals or is better than my $2,000 first place chicken 3 years in a row. That is authentic jerk chicken. Thanks for watching.